obviously what I'm doing is taking off these lower panels on this side to replace them because they were damaged when I got the trailer. It's not really anything that would keep me from using it. It's just, it doesn't look very professional, and I'm trying to get this thing cleaned up and looking nice. So I've never had these panels off of a trailer before. I have a trailer like this, but it's got the heavier plywood, so this is kind of interesting. This is just a I'd say like a 1 1/4 by 1 1/4 square tube, and that's what the frame and the walls are made out of, apparently. So that's kind of neat. Something that I didn't know. Learn something new every day. So, anyways, it just has these 1-inch self-tapping screws, Phillips head. I've taken them all out of this panel, taken the trim pieces off, and now I'm working on that panel. It's coming off pretty easy, except I've got one screw down there that's it's rusty, so it's stuck in there. I think I'm just going to take the pry bar, and if I can't pull it out, I'll snap it off. But anyway, get the rest of these out of here, and then I'm going to replace that. I'm replacing it with the same thing, and then I'm going to put down these 1x8s. I'm going to put one all the way around the trailer, at least on the sides, along the base, to protect that plywood, because it's just a 1/4 inch thick, Luan type of plywood, so pretty cheap stuff. And I actually kind of like it. I like the look of it, I think, without those little furring strips that cover up the edges. So I may just leave those off on this side, but we'll see. Get it all put back together. Okay, so this is the panel that was by the doorway, and it's got I don't know what you'd call that. It's a C channel, I guess, and then it's got an extra lip on it, and that's the channel that runs around the door frame. And you can see where the bolts run in right there, and that's part of the latch bar that swings over. So anyway, like I said, it's kind of interesting because I've never had plywood off of one of these before, and my other trailer has the heavier plywood, and I like that, but it does make the trailer heavier, and it's not really necessary for what I'm doing with this. So anyway, it's all off. I'm going to pull the rest of those little staples out. They're just little, probably 1/2 inch long staples that were holding on that trim. So I'll get those pulled off and go ahead and get these new sheets on. Before I put them on, I've got a screw in the top that shows me where the stud is at, but on the bottom, you can see right here, I'm going to have pencil marks. I haven't done it on this one yet, so that's going to show me where my center of my studs are at, so that I can find those easily. You can see the factory screws, like that one, just barely even hit the plywood. That one's pretty close to the edge. That one's right on the edge. A few of those like that. So anyway, having that center mark will ensure that I'm on the stud. So I'm going to get that done real quick, get these staples pulled out, and slap on these new sheets. I've got the rusted screw pulled out, and all the staples are pulled out. Everything's prepped and ready. I've swept up, so time to start putting the sheeting back on. The new sheeting, that is. this 1x8 baseboard on, what I'm using is a number 12 2-inch self-tapping screw. So, and they don't need to be quite 2 inches, but that's what I have, and they'll work. They won't go all the way through. So. Like that, I'm going to go one high, one low on each one of these uprights, all the way down, all the way to each end, and then I'll have a short piece on that end. This is the side that I'm most concerned about as far as the mower actually hitting the deck up against that sheeting. I'm doing it on this side just to make it stronger, to make it last longer, because this stuff's pretty thin. But anyway, I'll do all that and show you the finished product. Alright, so all the baseboard is in. I scored the furring strips with my knife and they snapped right off. So I was able to put that right up against the sheeting without the furring strip being in the way. Same on this side. Now, I'm not worried about the gaps and stuff because tonight I'm going to clean the trailer out. I'm going to caulk along the top and bottom of that baseboard with some silicone before I treat the floor. So the little bit of gaps and stuff that are there aren't going to be a problem. They're all going to be sealed up. And then I have my Thompson's Water Seal waterproofing stain that I'm going to be treating the entire floor with once I get it cleaned up and dried out. So I'm going to go ahead and call it a night, get the floor cleaned up, and hopefully tomorrow afternoon I can get this thing stained.